Good morning, everyone. Please have a seat. Thank you all for being here today. At this time, it is my pleasure to welcome County Executive Kevin Kamenetz to give our budget message for today. Thank you.
Council Chair Allman, members of the County Council, my fellow employees and citizens, it is my distinct honor to present you with Baltimore County's proposed operating and capital budgets for fiscal year 2017. It's a pleasure to see some members of the General Assembly here today, and I especially want to thank Speaker Pro Tem and House Education and Capital Budget Chair and my delegate, Adrian Jones. And I also wish to specifically recognize Budget and Tax Chair Senator Ed Casemeyer. Both of these individuals worked tirelessly on our county's behalf over the last 90 days, and I thank you all. Well, good morning to everyone. During a year of increasingly divisive politics, in the formulation of this budget, we ask the fundamental question: what is the role of government? Is it the narrow path of providing basic services, filling potholes, and perhaps picking up the trash? Or is it broader, where government can be fiscally responsible, offer reliable and even innovative services, but also establish an ascending moral vision of our duty as fellow citizens? I believe that in Baltimore County, guided by our sound values and principles, we must pursue our responsibilities with even greater vigor. Fiscal responsibility, of course, is the cornerstone of any well-managed government. Once again, our proposed budget is within the County Council's spending affordability guidelines with no increase in the tax rates. In fact, with this budget, it will be 28 years since we last raised the property tax rate. It will be 24 years since we last raised the income tax rate. This commitment to fiscal stewardship has earned us the coveted AAA bond rating from all three rating agencies, and we are just one of 42 counties out of more than 3,000 nationwide to earn this mark of fiscal excellence. This allows us to pay the lowest interest rate possible when we borrow money. And in fact, since 2010, our AAA bond rating has saved taxpayers $38 million in interest. Our dedication to strong fiscal management has also allowed us to provide a 2% COLA for all of our hardworking employees. That's a clap, folks. And of course, pay increases for longevity and steps. I want to thank Human Resources Director George Gay and all 6 of our bargaining units for reaching these labor agreements. And of course, we are grateful to each of our dedicated employees for what you do every day on behalf of our county's 831,000 residents. We really couldn't have reached this opportunity to talk about our strong sense of fiscal responsibility without the hard work of, first of all, our County Administrative Officer, Fred Homan. Our Office of Budget and Finance, every one of them have smiles on their face because they know they've completed the work and now passing it on to the legislative branch. But I do want to give a great shout out to Keith Dorsey, Ed Blades, and the entire team there as well. We also continue to make government more efficient and effective through our Office of Information Technology. Rob Stradling, as director, and his team have implemented nearly 300 technology initiatives since 2010. You only need to look to our most recent projects, such as No Wrong Door, our 911 upgrades, and our virtual call center to understand the impact these projects can have. Each makes it easier for citizens to interact with government. In the near future, we're going to announce later in this fiscal year a much improved customer service operation to assist citizens during storm emergencies. And in this budget, we continue our commitment to making government more innovative with nearly $18 million requested to fund 30 new technology projects throughout the county. Now, just as sound fiscal policies are integral to good government, a quality education is fundamental to our citizens' personal, cultural, and social development. Having a well-educated workforce is also vital to our county's prosperity. That's why we invest more than half of our county's tax dollars in public schools, community college, and the library system every year. I'm delighted that our county's champions of education are with us this morning. School Superintendent Dr. Dallas Dance. Library Director Paula Miller. And Community College of Baltimore County President Dr. Sandra Curtinitis. We entrust these three individuals, their incredible staff, and dedicated teachers to provide educational opportunities to every resident in this county, including our public schools' 111,000 students, the library's 400,000 active users, and CCBC's 65,000 students. Our county's ongoing commitment to public education is best demonstrated by our recent investments in school construction. This year's capital budget totals more than $383 million, including $127 million in PAYGO funds taken from our fund balance. Of that total, almost $196 million of county dollars are dedicated to school construction projects, including more than $120 million that we are forward funding to accelerate the program. Never before in our county's history have we undertaken such a comprehensive plan to resolve the twin dilemma of our school system's aging buildings and rising enrollment. We're now more than halfway through our unprecedented $1.3 billion Schools for Our Future program. And with this passage of this budget and the funding requests for the next 3 referenda, we will have built 15 new schools and 11 additions. Importantly, we are adding more than 8,500 new classrooms to accommodate future growth. This budget will also reduce the number of schools without central air conditioning to just 10, and that's down. That number 10 is down from 90 only 6 years ago. And those final 10 schools are on track to have central air conditioning installed by 2019. That completes our mission to ensure comfortable learning environments for every single student in Baltimore County. In the near future, hot classrooms will be a thing of the past, and it would not have happened without the support of our county council and our state delegation in Annapolis. Thank you. At the same time, we also recognize that a responsible government plans for future enrollment growth. And over the next year, Dr. Dance and I will be working together to address our high school enrollment needs for the coming decades. Under Dr. Dance's leadership, our school system is becoming the best in the nation. Think about this. The graduation rate now stands at almost 88%, increasing in each of the last 5 years. 75% of our high schools are rated among the best in the nation. 23 schools have earned blue ribbon status. To help them continue this success, I am proud that this budget includes funding for more than 130 additional teachers next year. These new positions will not only accommodate future student growth, but importantly will supplement our Passport initiative, which provides foreign language instruction at the elementary school level. It also increases the number of ESOL, special ed, and health personnel. But Baltimore County's obligation to public education does not stop when our students graduate from high school. We're pleased to provide additional funds to the Community College of Baltimore County to begin the $41.6 million renovation of the Health and Career Technology Building on the Essex campus. This is a prudent investment as CCBC serves as a major component of our employment strategy. In partnership with our Department of Economic and Workforce Development and its director, Will Anderson, CCBC trains people for careers in our 21st century economy. In addition to job training, our community college gives students the opportunity to earn college credit while still in high school. CCBC is one of the nation's top associate degree granting colleges, and at a time when the average student debt in our nation for a college graduate is nearly $30,000, it offers an affordable alternative for Baltimore County students pursuing a four-year degree. Is it any wonder that CCBC boasts the largest enrollment of any community college in this state? Our library system has had an exciting year as well, which included the launch of BC Reads, a community reading program, and new partnerships with local nonprofits, cultural institutions, colleges, and public schools to help citizens attain personal growth and success. Building on our innovative brand of government, we are pleased to announce with this budget that we will be submitting $1.5 million for tablets to lend in each library, which will provide greater access to e-books that are quickly becoming a standard in every American household. And while we talk about the great success of our library system as it is today, it brings to attention that we suffered a great loss this last weekend, and we're saddened to learn of the passing of Charlie Robinson, who died at the age of 88. Charlie Robinson came to Baltimore County Public Libraries in 1959, became director in 1963, where he served another 33 years until retiring in 1996. I had the privilege of working with Charlie Robinson when I was a first-term councilman. He was quite a character and really set the tone for a modern library. Those principles still survive today. Now, whether our loved ones are at school, at work, or out and about in our neighborhoods, we want to know that they're safe. Communities cannot thrive until parents feel good about letting their children walk to the store or ride their bikes to the park. Each of us wants to wake up in the morning knowing that Baltimore County is a place that promotes positive values and welcomes diverse opinion. Our crime rate in Baltimore County is at historic lows, with clearance rates exceeding both state and national standards. Our fire and medic service is one of the best in the country. I'm very proud of our esteemed public safety officials, Police Chief Jim Johnson, and Fire Chief John Homan. Both of whom are doing an outstanding job. I thank all of our public safety employees for their unwavering dedication to safeguarding our county. The success of public safety, however, goes far beyond statistics. As leaders of the region, we must acknowledge the national conversation that is taking place about law enforcement policies and police-community relations. The past 18 months have been particularly challenging for police departments and neighborhoods in almost every state in this country. There's no doubt that families of all backgrounds are increasingly worried when their teenagers go outside to spend time with friends. There's no doubt that every family of a police officer worries more than ever when their loved one leaves the house to protect us on a daily basis. With the need to protect both our citizens and our police, we recognize that our forward-looking county would benefit from a police body camera program to improve public safety, enhance transparency and trust, reduce complaints, and make prosecutions more effective. This program, using speed camera revenue, will be initiated in every Baltimore County precinct starting July 1 and fully implemented over the next 2 years. There was an article in the paper yesterday that talked about our progress in strengthening our already robust outreach efforts for the police department. In addition to our longstanding partnerships with the Police Community Relations Council, as well as other groups, department outreach personnel are increasing their efforts to build relationships among communities that have not traditionally interacted with police. To help emergency care reach citizens faster, our fire department placed 4 additional medic units in service, and of course we opened the brand new state-of-the-art Towson Fire Station. We also supplied all career and volunteer firefighters with $5 million in new breathing apparatus to better protect them from the dangerous conditions they so often encounter. We're also grateful for the service provided by our volunteer fire and EMS companies, and we're pleased to provide them in this budget with a 9.2% increase in funding. We also propose a $350,000 increase for our volunteer company's most successful initiative, the Attended Medic Program, which increases citizen access to medic services at peak hours of demand. But we also recognize that if we want people to have confidence in the decisions made by our public safety personnel, our rank and file must reflect the diversity of the people they protect. Chiefs Johnson and Homan have done excellent work in this endeavor. As a result, our police and fire recruit classes have averaged 40% non-white male, which better reflects an increasingly diverse Baltimore County. Our diversity is represented not only in the rank and file of our police department, but also in its highest levels of command. And the percentage of female firefighters in Baltimore County is among the highest in the nation. I always marveled that when we opened up the new Towson Fire Station, the original one was built in 1958, became obsolete. It actually had no facilities for women firefighters in that building, just to show you how things have changed. Clearly, working together with our communities, when we talk about diversity, we are one county. Now, the aspiring goal of our county government is to formulate policies that keep us heading in the right direction. We can't look to the future without building on the principles that have guided us in the past. Just as we tend to our families, we also care for our neighbors down the street. This requires us to examine not just the needs of our residents, but also those who live within our shared region. If we are to create the kind of Baltimore County that we want our children to be proud of, we must recognize the important role that Baltimore City plays in our county, in our region, and in our state. This is why we continue to dedicate nearly $3 million in this budget to support the regional arts and cultural institutions that are located in the city. And that's why we were there last spring to lend a helping hand and not with a bill in our hand when the city needed it the most. It also requires us to invest in new strategies in the coming year that are designed to encourage employment training and growth for our entire region. I'm also proud that after years of negotiation, the county resolved a long-standing housing discrimination complaint with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, which allows us to move forward with a reasonable plan to encourage affordable housing to be made available to people who share our values of low crime, quality education, and access to jobs. I want to thank County Attorney Mike Field and Planning Director Andrea Van Arsdale and their teams for reaching this agreement with the federal government. Government will ultimately be judged by how it treats the least fortunate among us. Knowing there are many for whom life's challenges seem insurmountable at times, our values demand that we take action to care for the homeless, look after our senior citizens, help people find quality housing, and assist those struggling with substance abuse and domestic violence. The work performed each day by Andrea Van Arsdale, Dr. Gregory Branch, Barry Williams, Deb Richardson, Joanne Williams, and their departments reflect this aspirational view of government. Whether it be through new substance abuse initiatives, a modern homeless shelter replacing trailers, a transitional housing facility for battered women and children who can stay weeks at a time until they secure permanent housing, a new PAL center, educational programs for our inmates, or even outreach to homebound seniors, we are committed to leaving no one behind on our watch. With that in mind, this budget includes more than $76 million to provide crucial services so our friends and neighbors can get back on their feet and live life to the fullest. I often note that Baltimore County is more populous than 4 states, and yet we continue to operate with the finer principles of a small town where we know our neighbors' names and look out for each other. We are proud of what we have done to make our county a more accessible and inviting place for all. Last year, Pope Francis did an extraordinary thing when he released an encyclical on the environment, calling on us all to work together to take good care of our common home, the earth. Simply put, citizens, businesses, and government must collaborate to become better stewards of our beloved home. Baltimore County has created an extensive system of parks, preserved land, and watersheds that form a remarkable green network stretching from the Chesapeake Bay to the Mason-Dixon border. Almost 50 years ago, the county adopted the urban-rural demarcation line, which, along with conservative land use and environmental practices, has helped our Department of Planning to preserve vital natural and agricultural resources in our rural areas. Indeed, 2/3 of our county remains rural. Baltimore County has placed more than 63,000 acres under easement, including 726 acres this past year. Our county is ranked first among counties for Maryland Environmental Trust donated easements. We're ranked third for rural legacy and fourth for agricultural easements. And when it comes to planting trees, Baltimore County is a leader among Maryland counties through our Department of Environmental Protection and Sustainability's aggressive reforestation program, which planted 71 acres just this past year and helped us earn our 12th Tree City USA designation just last week from the National Arbor Day Foundation. Preserving our county's natural settings also means ensuring people have access to places where they can play, exercise, and enjoy the outdoors. With the opening of new parks, recreation centers, and even new dog parks in recent years, we offer first-class recreational facilities for all of our residents, including the four-legged ones. I'm also pleased to include in this year's budget $11 million for the Department of Recreation and Parks to provide year-round recreational opportunities. And we are announcing that we will fund construction of 2 new turf fields at Milford Mill and Sparrows Point High Schools. I especially thank the Boosters Club, the Booster Clubs and Rec Council serving those communities for their contributions to these projects. And I know Milford Mill football head coach Reggie White, former NFL player and proud Milford Mill alumni, is here. Thank you, Coach, and your whole team. We also have Sparrows Point Athletic Director Russ Linger and his group here. Thank you as well. Where are you, Russ? Now, if you ask any Baltimore County resident what their favorite summertime activity is, there's a good chance that it involves water. With 200 miles of waterfront and more than 2,000 miles of streams and rivers, our connection to the bay is personal. It's catching that first rockfish off the pier. Maybe it's boating at Marshy Point or watching the sunset over the Key Bridge in eastern Baltimore County. It's easy to understand why we are working hard to protect our natural resource. Our Department of Environmental Protection and Sustainability, led by Director Vince Gardina, has completed more than $60 million in stream restoration, shoreline stabilization, reforestation, and other water quality projects since 2011 that's going to preserve and restore our natural infrastructure. We have more than $77 million in additional projects planned. Thank you. Now, in terms of infrastructure projects, I'd like to commend the exceptional work that our employees do in the Department of Public Works to keep our county going strong. They dug our county out in less than a week after Winter Storm Jonas dumped the biggest single snowfall in the history of this county. And when it wasn't snowing, they inspected, repaved, and repaired hundreds of miles of roads and pipe. They filled 72,000 potholes. They completed 16 studies to end sewage overflows, oversaw $1.6 billion in water and sewer projects, and recycled more than 50,000 tons of materials at our state-of-the-art recycling facility. By the way, our innovative recycling facility actually saved taxpayers more than $21 million in our first 2 years of operation. Now, we can't discuss public works without recognizing a gentleman who truly reflects the work ethic of so many of our county employees. I think if I could see beyond these cameras, there might be a subtle smile on Ed Adams' face. Ed, apparently the word is out that this is going to be your last budget message as department head. As you all apparently know, Ed will be retiring on May 1, and we all wish him nothing but the best in his future endeavors. Thank you, Ed. A critical role of our county government is to grow jobs and strengthen our local economy. When I first took office, we were in the midst of the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression. The unemployment rate in the county stood at 8.1%. Today, that rate has been driven down to 5%, and we've added more than 33,000 jobs. This type of recovery has not occurred elsewhere, though, and while there are certainly macroeconomic forces at play, Baltimore County has continued to support those fundamental drivers that allow us to sustain a strong and robust economy. This budget is a reflection of our understanding of what it takes to grow jobs, maintain business, and create new ones. We know that businesses require stable tax rates, an educated workforce, and a high quality of life for their employees. We're achieving that in Baltimore County with an unprecedented commitment to education and public safety and investments in our aging infrastructure, parks, and green space, all while keeping our property and income tax rates flat. And guess what? It's working. This commitment to the fundamentals of job growth and a strong economy has led to more than $1 billion of private investment in downtown Towson alone. more than $750 million investment in the area of the Owings Mills Metro Center. And for the first time in a generation, we are looking to a Sparrows Point with a real and tangible future, a future with 10,000 family-supported jobs. And guess what? Major employers want to stay here too. McCormick Spice, Care First, and Social Security all chose to remain in Baltimore County after investigating potential moves. When companies expand and jobs are created, the dollars to invest in our county also grow. So looking around this room, I feel an incredible sense of pride when I think about what we have accomplished since 2010. Working together, we've helped mitigate the effects of that Great Recession. We've made our streets safe, our schools strong. We faced the challenge of rebuilding our aging infrastructure. We protected our environment and the vulnerable among us while growing our economy. As a result, I can report that the state of our county is strong. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The County Council will hold a public hearing on the Executive's proposed budget on Tuesday, April 26th at 6 p.m. here in this chamber. The Council will begin its review of individual agency budgets on Tuesday, May 10th at 2 p.m. These hearings will continue through May 19th. The entire schedule of hearings is posted on the Council's website. Budget adoption is tentatively scheduled for Thursday, May 26th at 10 a.m. Thank you all for joining us today. We very much appreciate it.